All right, Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I've learned this truth from. All right, sincere peace and blessings to Akim, who are pushing the word, truth, sincerity, and who are striving towards the kingdom, and who are remaining faithful and enduring to the end. Okay, for Yahuwah that are listening, who are abiding by the way of the scriptures, and those of you who have men in this truth, that you're obeying and being submissive to them, all right, to the best of your ability, all right, that you may ultimately attain salvation along with that man of the Lord. Okay. Quick article I came across. It says Cuomo upping the National Guard presence in New York airports to check for flyers. Negative coronavirus test results. Okay. And one of the first things that popped in my mind was what this is all going to lead to, them locking down the cities, okay, as prophesied in the scriptures in the Apocrypha. Okay, let's read on. It says Cuomo said he has instructed Mayor Bill de Blasio to increase NYPD personnel at the airports in the Big Apple, which they've been doing since 9/11. Okay, so that's not new, but you just haven't seen them as much. But now they're just going to make more of a presence. All right. Something called show of force. And in law enforcement, that's used to deter. Uh, you can some will call it intimidation, but it's used to deter people from doing stupid stuff, man. Okay, so that's what that means. It says to increase NYPD personnel at the airport in the Big Apple. All right, so that's coming. That's already here. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has asked the National Guard to increase its presence at airports to check that travelers have proof of a negative novel coronavirus test upon entering the state ahead of the holiday season, he said. Okay, so you can see the pieces are still moving on the chessboard. All right, though we know Yahweh Shemel Shah is in charge of all of it. But it says, I'll read that again. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has asked the National Guard to increase its presence. What's the increase? When they increase their presence, it means you're going to see more of them, man. Okay? And the more of them you start to see, the more normalized it's going to be. Okay? Uh, Ultimately, what's that for? To lock down the cities, man. Okay? Andrew Cuomo has asked the National Guard to increase its presence at airports. Why? To check that travelers have proof of a negative novel coronavirus. Okay, so they want to put the National Guard in the airports to make sure that when you come in, when you're flying in from whatever state or international, that you'll have the coronavirus. You were checked off as negative. You know, so man, something. Uh, see. Democratic governor said during a morning news conference he has upped the number of local law enforcement and National Guard personnel at airports statewide for the holiday weekend travel. And if they're doing it at airports, that's ultimately going to escalate at what? At certain checkpoints, at toll bridges, um, you know, at tolls in general. Start to see them on the highways, man. You start to see them, down in the subway stations. Okay, it's all a slow, steady escalation. All right. Um, that once these soldiers and stuff are positioned where they need to be, you best believe once they feel they have a nice grip on keeping people in check. Okay, keeping people locked down where they are. In their respective states, wherever they may be. Okay, once they feel they have a good grip on that, they'll have no problem with just coming out with it and declaring martial law. Okay, you have to understand this is all progressive. Okay, it has to be subtle enough where, well, they're trying to keep it subtle enough, but they're trying to be subtle enough to where nobody will notice it all at once. Okay, people won't notice it all at once. All right, it says you should not land if you do not have proof of a negative test upon landing. Okay, so they're going to be using this test as a way to keep you out, man. All right, and this is just starting with New York, but imagine nationwide. Okay, nationwide, let's go nationwide from state to state. There's a lot of people that are not going to take the test. What does that mean? There's a lot of people that's not going to have the test results. So there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be able to enter into what? Different cities, man, different states. Okay, whether you're traveling to see your family or you're traveling to do business or whatever the case is. All right, you're not going to have access to that anymore. Okay, so now is the time, if never before, to prepare yourself. Okay, to be locked down where you at. All right, you may not be able to travel. You may not be able to see family and things like that, man. Okay, soon, because this is the testing ground is happening here in New York. Okay, it's happening right there in New York, and that's going to go statewide. And once it goes statewide, you know, you ain't gonna be able to enter into any state, man, or any city. Okay, says you were supposed to take a test. Let me read up. Start up top a little higher. You should not land if you do not have proof of a negative test upon landing. Okay, so they tell you shouldn't even land. You should even come into the city. You shouldn't even come into the state. All right. You were supposed to take a test where you were coming from within 3 days, and it was supposed to show a negative test. So they expect you to have taken the test 3 days in advance before you took your trip to fly into the state, right? So that you can have your results to present to them when you arrive in their state at that airport. Okay, they're slowly kicking the chair, man, from out under people, and as we can see here too, uh, it's restricting the flow of movement. Okay, this is ultimately going to restrict the flow of movement. Not that it hasn't been restricted, but it's going to be more restricted, man. Okay, and at the same time, they're putting soldiers in place. All right. Again, like I said, it's putting soldiers at the airport. So next, they're gonna put soldiers at what? At your subways, at your Greyhound bus stations, at your we have a lot of public uh, places of transportation, man. All right, it's coming. Passengers somewhere in mass protective gear queue for the flight at Terminal 1 of John F. Kennedy Airport amid the novel coronavirus pandemic on May 13th, 2020, Queens, New York. All right. Of course, there's more to it. Let's see what we get. Here we go. In addition to increasing the National Guard presence, Cuomo said he has instructed New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio to increase New York Police Department personnel at the airports in the Big Apple. All right. I want people to know we're serious, he added. Okay, so he wants to show people, like I said, that show of force. Okay, that's a show of force. He wants people to know that they're serious. That you're gonna have to have taken your test and got your results before you could come into our state. And imagine when that goes nationwide, man. When every state starts to enforce that. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to go nowhere, man. You ain't gonna be able to move nowhere, and that fulfills what scripture? Let's get it. Mm. right here. What does it say? Second Esdras 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Verse 18. For because of their pride. What's the pride, man? They could the pride of this devil to think that he can continue to restrict and keep people in place and suppress and compress and keep people locked down in their houses. Man, people ain't gonna go for it. All right, there's only so much you could push people before they, you know, what they call it, rebel or react. Okay, again, which if you have been in tune with what's going on, you know these National Guards and these soldiers are being put in place for that very reason, in hopes that people react, in hope that people, get crazy. So what? So they can clamp down even harder on. Okay, this is nothing new. This plan has been in motion for a long time now. All right, it's called Rex 84. It's called the King Alfred plan. It's called Jacob's trouble in the scriptures, man. Okay, and it's just the beginning of sorrows. All right. You read it again, 2 Esdras 15, verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, so what? The pride of them, they can keep people compressed, they can keep people suppressed and isolated and confined. Okay, that's the pride that these devils have, man. Okay, but what's going to be the result of that? The city shall be troubled. Okay, why the city is going to be troubled? Because people are going to rebel. They're going to resist it, man. Okay, they're going to start causing chaos and anarchy. It says the houses shall be destroyed. All right, what's that? Rioting, looting, these protesting, and all this anarchy that's out here, man. We already see it, but that's the result of the pride of these devils, man. Okay, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Okay, so things are going to escalate and get worse. But the Wadi Abba Shimon Shah for your truth, for your covering, and for your protection. Okay. Brothers, just stay tuned. Watch. Stay tuned in the news and, looking through the articles and staying up to date what's going on. Okay, it's too much to report on, but it's our duty to watch. So continue enduring the fight of faith, and Lord will, I don't want Ratazah. All right, we be delivered. All right, when shit really gets bad, man. Okay, i.e. Jacob's trouble and the day of the Lord. All right, in the day. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.